All right, so once again, it's our favorite time of the show for winners and losers. And Dan, let me turn to you first. Who's your winner?
My winner's Representative Mike Gallagher. He's responded in a series of tweets to the firing of James Comey, saying he raised serious questions and acting like an independent member of Congress who was concerned about this situation. You know, it'd be easy for him just to sit back and not do anything, but I thought it was a good move by him. In a district that went for Trump, I think it was 56% of the vote, but still it's a swing district, so maybe he's realizing that people in the district aren't particularly thrilled with what's going on in the White House.
He has shown some independence since being elected.
So. Yeah, and you know, Reed Ribble did as well, his predecessor, so I think it's a good sign that he's responding that way.
How about your loser?
By contrast, you know, we have Paul Ryan, who has gone from being the conscience of the party to right now is the sycophant of the party, who's finding it very hard to criticize the Trump administration. And then just yesterday, the Washington Post reported on this conversation, had this transcript of this conversation from the last summer in which Kevin McCarthy suggested that the Russians might be paying Donald Trump, and his response was basically, keep this under wraps, tell no one, this stays within the family. And then when no leaks, and then when his spokesman was asked about it, his spokesman lied until it became clear that the Washington Post had a transcript of this. So not such a good week. And in addition to all that, clearly the Republican agenda has been derailed while all of this activity is going on.
No, we should say, in fairness, the Ryan and McCarthy folks both said, well, he meant that as a joke.
Later, after they acknowledged that the conversation happened.
Because everybody wants to keep jokes in the family.
All right, Mary, who's your loser?
I'm going to go with Donald Trump. The president has obviously had a rough week.
Pretty tough week, even by his standards.
Even by his, and there have been some tough weeks for this administration, but this one just seems to be, it just seems like the Trump administration, and particularly his West Wing staff, are just scrambling, and I'm imagining Reince pouring Bailey's on his cereal as he
said
tries.
He'd never do that.
He said he wasn't at that point yet, I think, was what he had previously said.
He could be.
Before the election. But it just sounds like, you know, there's obviously been like disconnect between what his spokespeople have said and then what he gets on Twitter and tweets out to his followers. And it never seems to quite match up. And then he's threatened to, you know, basically cut off news conferences if people are complaining that they're not saying the same thing. There have been, there's, you know, Comey, who kept a pretty clear paper trail, as we've seen. It seems like if Trump did indeed pressure him to either end the Russia investigation or let Flynn off the hook, or possibly jail journalists, all of that is a problematic thing for a president to be asking an FBI director to do. Now
he's heading to the Middle East, which with many presidents you think, oh, okay, he's taking a break, but with Trump, you have no idea what he's going to say when he's over there.
Well, and there were reports that he was very reluctant to go, asking about cutting down the days of the trip, not wanting to do much public appearances. There's been this controversy with Israel and this debate over the wall. So, yeah, it's we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. All right. And your winner?
So that would go back to Mr. Comey, the former FBI director, who apparently kept a very careful paper trail of what was taking place and what was being said. He filed this memo after his meeting with Trump and apparently spoke to people and made people aware of it. And this is where he indicated that the president essentially very promptly asked him to let Flynn off the hook and kind of let the whole thing go, jail journalists, pressuring him for his loyalty, that sort of thing. So if he continued to keep that kind of paper trail, I think we're going to learn more, and the Trump administration has disputed his characterization of the conversations. But again, even saying he better hope there are no tapes of those then raises the question of whether the president is making secret tapes of his conversations. So I think Comey, although he has been fired, looks like he, you know, is still having an impact.
Not the last we've heard of Jim Comey.